Part 3. One doesn't forgo sleep because of the possibility of nightmares. African proverb. Cowboy. In ESL class, we learn a new game called Interview. Ms. Hernandez says it makes us more confident when we use our English words. Plus, it's a good way to learn about our classmates. First, we have to hold a cardboard tube and pretend it's something called a microphone that makes our voices loud. I saw one once on the TV machine with a lady singing into it. She howled like a sick animal till my ears wanted to run away. I'm the first to go. I have to stand up and say 5 sentences. I say, I have a new job. I help Lou with her farm. She has a cow, 3 goats, many chickens, and a pig. I will go there after school sometimes and on the days named Saturday and Sunday. Lou says I can name the cow. I take a deep breath. I'm weary from my long speech. Next comes the interview part. This is where each student asks you a question. If they run out of questions, then the teachers can help. Nishan is first. Why does the cow not have a name? I take another breath. I like the questions best with yes or no for an answer, but this time I'm not so lucky. Lou says her husband called the cow, the cow. She didn't think that was such a right name. Very good answer, Keck, said Mr. Franklin. Aisha is next. You could call the cow Mr. Franklin. The class thinks this is a good joke, and there's much laughing. She's a girl, so she needs a girl name, I explain. Now each person has an idea for a name. This isn't exactly how to play interview, but the teachers don't seem to mind. Ms. Hernandez writes the names on the board. Some are very silly. Mr. Franklin, Milkshake, Ms. Hernandez, Keck Jr., Kitty Kitty, Salama, Rover, Chiku, Angelita, Zlata, Big Mac. When they're done, Mr. Franklin asks me if I have a name in mind. I think for a moment. We have a word in my language, I say. Gull. What does it mean? Mr. Franklin asks. I feel my face heat. It means family, I say. Ms. Hernandez says it's up to me. But I say I would like to have a vote because Ms. Hernandez taught us that's how things are decided in America. We vote. Gull wins. Hamburger gets 2 votes. Nice job, cowboy, Mr. Franklin says when I sit down at last. The rest of the day, everyone calls me cowboy. It's a good day. The cow has a new name, and I have one too. Working. The snow and muck yank at my boots. The wind slaps my cheeks. In my heavy coat, I plod like an old donkey on market day. So why am I so glad in my heart? The work at Lou's is simple. Feed the animals, clean the stalls, shovel the front porch, but when I'm working, my mind doesn't travel where it shouldn't go. I'm only here with the chickens underfoot, and Gull nudging me for an ear scratch. Sometimes I talk to her softly. I tell her of my father's great herd and how they would graze each day, walking for miles, the sun in our bones, the grass whispering its shy music. I sing her one of my father's songs and listen for an echo of his voice in mine. She nuzzles me and flicks her ears and chews her cud. When I bury my face in Gull's hide, I smell hay and dung and life. She shelters me like a warm wall, and that is enough for this day. Ganwar, meet Gull. On Saturday, Dave comes to pick up Ganwar. They're going to fill out paperwork asking for a job at the places that sell fries. Dave says he can drop me off at Lou's on the way. Ganwar doesn't talk on the way to the farm. His face looks frozen, but his eyes are hot. He keeps rubbing the place where his hand once was. When we get to Lou's, I say, Would it be all right if I showed Ganwar the farm? He hasn't seen a cow in a long time. I wait for Ganwar to spit out the word no, but he gives a slow nod. Dave looks at his arm clock. 10 minutes, he says. Tops. We go to Lou's door, and when she opens it, I say, "This is my cousin Ganwar. He'd like to see the farm." "Be my guest," Lou says. "There's a new bag of chicken feed in the shed, Keck." Ganwar follows me through the thick, crunching snow. "It isn't much of a farm," he says. "Hardly any animals, and the big road so near." "Still, it isn't so bad, if you don't think about it," I say. I shake my head. I'm getting very good at not thinking about things. We enter the gray, sagging barn. Sun and angry wind sneak through the broken spots. "There she is," I say, pointing. Ganwar groans. "Are you sure that's a cow?" "Our fathers wouldn't think so," I admit. I stroke her flank while Ganwar watches. She has old eyes, tired but patient. Gaul is her name, I add. Ganwar takes his glove off his hand with his teeth. He strokes her too. I meet Ganwar's eyes. "Don't worry about the job too much," I say. "What another man takes 2 hands to do, you can do with 1. Ganwar puts his head against Gaul's neck. "You're lucky to have found this job, but you made the luck happen." "I wish I could be herding," I say. I don't know anything about farms, really, except that they have cows. We stand there, watching the cow's breath come in soft puffs. Suddenly, another idea jumps into my head. I think that if I knew where such ideas come from, I would be a wealthy man with 1,000 cattle and a flying boat. "Stay here," I say. "Keep her company for me." An idea. A few minutes later, I race back to the barn, stumbling in the stubborn snow. Dave and Lou follow. Lou has on a thick red coat and a hat with a fuzzy ball on top. Ganwar is still leaning against Gaul. "Your cousin has an idea," says Dave. My grin is so big it hurts. "You can work with me here," I explain. "Helping with the farm." All is quiet. Ganwar looks doubtful. He doesn't say yes, but he doesn't say no either. "I don't have much cash," Lou says. "You'd have to split the pay I promised Keck. But come spring, I'll sell organic veggies and flowers at the farmer's market, and you could help with that." She pauses, assuming, that is, I hang on to this old place. Ganwar looks at me hard. "I can't take your charity." "But I'm taking yours," I say. "You're sharing your home with me." "I don't know anything about farming," Ganwar says. "I don't either," I say. Ganwar turns to Lou and holds out his hurt arm. "What about this?" he asks. His voice is soft, but his words are shouting. We all look at Lou. Lou shrugs. "Guess you'll have to use the other one," she says. For some reason, this makes Ganwar smile. He slowly nods. He glances at Dave. "Can you come back later?" he asks. "We have dung to shovel." I laugh. "It's much harder here," I warn him. "Everything freezes. Even that." Gaul moves softly, as if she's sorry to make work for us. Dave shakes my hand, then Lou's, then Ganwar's. "Folks, this is great," he says. "Ganwar, don't let Lou down, buddy." "He won't," Lou says. She winks. Dave and Lou leave us in the cold barn. I look around me. It's not a great herd I see, dotting the grass like cows in a vast green sky. It's just a tired flock of scrawny chickens and a cow with ribs trying to hide behind her muddy coat. But for a moment, as Ganwar and I hum one of the old songs, we are where we belong in the world.